Yeah. So percentage d slash n comma sum. So from the by looking at this code, you know what it is doing, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, there are two functions here. One is add function and one is main function. Add purpose is
Okay.
just to add the two numbers and return the sum. And main function is the function. Main is the function which is the starting point for any application. Okay. Main function should be there in any other application. There is no application without main function. So main should be there in all the code. Okay. Well, there should be one main at least. Yeah. There should be one main at the max. Okay. So could you understand why we are writing these functions and all? Why don't we write here itself like I will comment this. Sum is equal to 3 plus 4 and printing the sum. Why we are not writing like this? Do you understand? Any advantage do you see from this by writing add function? See, here also we are adding two numbers and we are printing, but here we have a function. So we are not using, see, the lines which starts from double slash, they are called as comments. They will not be executed by the compiler. They will not be compiled by the compiler. Okay. So we can print it like this also, right? What is the advantage do you see when we use the function add?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, see, when we see, now, still now we have seen only one small code, which is hello world. Okay, consider you have a code where you need to process lot of things. Again, that's what I'm telling. So consider you have a university student database where you need to store register number, marks, address, and fees and everything to in the database, and you have to display. And sometimes if a new student comes, you also need to modify that. So this is a complex
Yes, sir.
code, right? Where there will be millions of students will be there in a university, and
Yes, sir.
we need to store all the data and then print it or modify it, record it like that, right? So it's a complex code. If we break the big code into smaller functions, like understand, see, you have a consider you are studying maths, okay? So maths is a big subject. So you are going to divide maths into small lessons, and you are going to learn it, right? Depending on,
Yes, sir.
yeah. Similarly, a large code can be broken into small code, and see that will be, if it is something like, consider if I write a code today, 1,000 lines of code. If I leave the company tomorrow, somebody will come and use that code. Okay, it should be understandable by him easily. So if we
Yes, sir.
write the big code into modularized small codes and functions, it will be easily understood by the other person who is joining. Okay, that's why they will maintain the modularity. When it comes to functions, a function is nothing but set of instruction under a name. This is a name, add. These are set of instructions under this name.
Okay.
Okay. So let us write a calculator program. Okay. Now we will understand. Okay. I will name this as calculator.c. Okay. First, what we'll do? We will take the numbers, right, from the user. Printf. So these are very small codes actually. I think Akshay is already aware of all these codes, but as Masood is new to the C coding, I'm explaining more.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Scanf is one function when I discussed actually. This is a output function which will print
Okay, sir.
to console. Scanf percentage d Address of A, address of B. Let these two numbers be int A, comma B.
B.
Okay. So scanf is a input function. Okay, it will take it reads input from console. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So when scanf get executed, the numbers will be in A and B. Okay. So see, the while is a loop actually. Don't worry about these things and all. Okay. I'm just explaining you
Okay.
why functions are required. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Don't worry about this. Initially it looks complex for you. I will show you
Yes, sir.
case. Okay, I will add plus. Okay. Float. Result is equal to 0. I'll mark this as result is equal to but you're able to follow, right, what I'm trying to do?
So you making choices.
Yeah. Star is for multiplication. So I will
Okay,
pause
sir.
multiple of. Let us use
By using this, whichever operation we want to select, we can select, no, sir.
yeah. Okay. This looks like a simple calculator. Okay, first what it will do, enter the numbers. Okay, I'll tell you. I'll move this code into here. Okay. This is a loop actually. While is a loop which executes continuously. Loop means, right? You understand, right? Which executes repeatedly. Okay. It takes the numbers and enter your choice. If it is plus, if you enter plus, it will go for add. If you enter minus, see, and choice is stored here. If the choice is plus, it will come here. If the choice is minus, it will come here. If the choice is multiplication, it will come here. And the code is divided into small functions. Okay, add, subtract, multiply. I'm calling these functions in the required place where the choice I am getting. After getting the choice, I will call those functions with, these are called as parameters, A and B. Okay. So this function, when you look at it, it is more readable and more organized. Okay. So if you simply write it here, yeah, you'll understand more when you go more deeper. So what I'm trying to say is functions are something like you are breaking a large program into smaller pieces. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Do you know any process, for example, let us see this, okay? You understood, right, what we are trying to do by writing the functions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is a water treatment plant, okay, where you have a raw water comes into the plant. This is a raw water treatment, and makeup water, it adds something here, and wastewater will be eliminated and good water will be supplied back. This is a water treatment plant. Okay. So water treatment plant, whole process is broken into 3 small processes. Okay, because it is easy to understand. It is well structured if we organize properly.
Yes, sir.
Right. So that's how we break the large application into smaller functions.
Okay, sir.
That's what I was trying to tell you. So functions, you understand, right? Code, what you know what is the source code? What is code? Actually, it is a set of instructions, right, to the CPU.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, compiler will convert C code into assembly code.
Assembly code.
So the code is divided again into smaller functions. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So here, let me go to Dev C++. Main is the function which should be there. This function should be there. Without this function, you cannot write any application. Okay. There should be one main function in any application. And these may be depending on how he is designed the application. These things, these functions depends on how we design. See, I can also write this way. A plus B. A minus B. A star 2. This is also correct. This also gives the valid result. You can write the same code in a different way. Why you wrote in a function is, I want to organize in a proper way. When you are writing big code and all, if you break the big code into smaller functions, then it will be more readable and more understandable.
Okay, sir. Sir, what this while in the bracket 1 means?
Yeah, I will explain you in the upcoming sessions.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So now we finished functions. We'll see. Yeah, statement means, you know, right? What are statements? See, each line of code is called as a statement. Okay. Yeah, each line of code is called as a statement. Every statement in C ends with colon.
Okay.
Semicolon. Okay. So every statement ends with semicolon. Next, control structures. See, for any language, these are important. You know why? Because functions are required to break a larger task into smaller tasks. And control structures means controlling the flow of execution. Okay, you have this code, right? It's always executed from top to bottom. Okay, it will be executed from line number 23 to here, like this, top to bottom. When I call a add function, okay, it goes to here, add function, and this operation will be performed and it will be returned. But again, it comes back to the calling part. It will come here. Again, next statement is break. Then again, it comes here. Okay. Because there is a break here. Break means it will break from the loop. Okay. So this is how it goes.
Okay, sir.
So now consider.
So for this switch statement, semicolon will not come, sir.
No, this is not a. See, this is a control structure. Switch is a control structure. Okay. It will be till here. So whatever the code you write under this brace to this brace will belongs to this switch.
Switch. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So now what we were discussing actually control structure, right? Okay. So consider we are doing a division operation. We'll add the division operation as well. It's not semicolon, actually it is colon. Here, that's a semicolon. Case divide. Result is equal to A divided by B. I will write. Okay. Do you see any problems here? Consider A is 1 and B is 0. What is the result?
Infinity, sir.
Yeah, infinity, right? And computer cannot understand infinity.
Infinity. Error. It will show errors.
So how we will add? How we will avoid this situation? You understand? That's why decision-making statements came into picture. Okay. Here, I will add if B is greater than 0. Okay. I will add in this block. So it means that if B is greater than 0, then only compute the result.
Yes, sir.
So we are safe, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Otherwise, printf invalid input. Okay. So this is called as if. So we are taking a decision here. We are controlling the execution. The processor execute if actually, if B is greater than 0, it executes here. And if B is less than 0 or equal to 0, it executes this statement, printf. Okay. So we are controlling the flow of execution, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is, so that's why to avoid these situations and all, control structures came. There are multiple control structures in C language. Okay, we will discuss that. So what else we have to discuss? The input and output we discussed in a short form. Printf and scanf, for example, for input and output. For now, we just concentrate on this because you are beginners. If I tell you more things, you will not be able to understand. And in the beginning itself, you will find it as complex. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you understood, right? What are statements, functions, control structures,
Yes,
input,
sir.
and now we are understanding how the code flow is
Code
on the
structure.
code and how the code will be returned. So, what is the basic necessary to become a good coder? Can you think of yourself?
So he has to be well aware of all the functions and all the whatever the statements are used in the program, sir.
Yeah, and you should be well aware of functions, statements, control structures, and all these things. So, if he knows
Yes,
this,
sir.
and if he is able to solve a real world problem, for example, they will ask you to, some company will come and will ask you to implement calculator code. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
nobody will ask that. Just for an example, I'm telling. So
Oh,
he will be able to convert. The calculator is the requirement actually. That company's requirement is calculator. He will convert the requirement into the code, and if he knows all these things, it will be easy for him to write, and he will write a good code. So I think we are good at basics now, right?
yes, sir.
Let me see who and all are there. Oh, Nitish is also there. Okay. So Nitish, when did you join?
Bro, just few minutes back.
Okay. So I was just explaining functions, statements, control structures, and input and output in a C language actually. And I explained why functions are required. Functions, I gave an example here. Okay. I gave a calculator code as an example. Here we have written around 3 functions here: add, subtract, multiplication, and all. The purpose of the functions is to break up a complex code into smaller pieces actually. So so it will break up into smaller pieces. So if somebody else comes and sees your code, they will be able to understand, and they will be able to modify in your absence as well. Okay, this is about functions. Yeah, when it comes to functions in the brackets you will give the inputs. Okay, these are called as parameters. A and B are called as parameters. So it will operate on these parameters. Okay, we will reschedule. So it is operating on A and B, and the result is C. We will specify the result here. Result will be specified here. This is called as return type. Okay, so integer is the return type here. So it adds 2 numbers and returns integer type. Yeah. So this is how the function structure is. Yeah, statements means, so whatever you see here is called as a statement. So every statement ends with semicolon. Okay, these are statements. Control structures. Yeah, I gave an example of avoiding a divide by 0 situation. So when we are implementing a calculator, so if we simply write A divided by B, if B is 0, it results in the code crash. Code will be crashed here. So what happens is, that's why we can check the value of B and take the decision whether to do a division or not. So that's where the control structures will be useful. So to make decision based on the input and other variables. Okay. So input and output. These things, yeah, printf is an example for input. Scanf is an example for output. So it has got 2 inputs, keyboard. So we have many inputs to computer, right? Keyboard, buttons,
yes,
and mouse, and a lot of things are there. All these will be supported by the driver, and then application reads from the driver. At this point of time, we don't worry about other inputs. We consider only 2 functions. One is printf, which will print the value to the console, and scanf, which will take the value from the console. You know what is console, right? Console means command line. Whatever the place where we type the commands, and this is called as a console. This is called as a console. Okay, this is command. So we discuss these things. So if you go to any language like Java, C, C++, Python, these are the things actually. You have functions, statements, control structures, input and output. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the things you need to remember at the high level. Yeah, just let's proceed further now. I think this meeting is going to end in 7 minutes. If you want, I will reschedule for another half an hour. Otherwise,
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we are going to discuss is
C code structure.
Yeah, C code structure. Here, one is we discuss everything. We are going to discuss everything in detail. First, we are going to discuss variables. Next,
Okay.
constants. Next, expressions. Control structures. Here I gave you a brief detail about control structure. Okay. Here we are going to discuss in detail control structure. Then loops. Then what else? Yeah, let us plan for these things for now. Okay. So I had shared one link, Masood. Do you remember what was that? A Java pointer.
Sir, Java point.
Yeah, they're going in the same way. Variables actually. Nitish, I think you also have this link, right? Nitish and Akshay. I hope you will be looking at this when you finish the classes.
Yeah.
So in this code, the variables are actually A and B are the variables here. Okay. Float result. This is a variable. A variable is nothing but anything which can hold a value. Okay. A can hold integer value and B can hold integer value and result can hold decimal value. And I mean floating point numbers. Okay. You know how we are declaring, right? If you want to generalize this thing, this declaration, I will tell type name. Okay. I will specify type name and name of the variable. So this is a general format. Okay. So the type can be it can be integer A, or it can be float A, or it can be char A, or it can be there are multiple things actually. Double. Yeah, there are different types. So A is same and only the type of the variable is changing. Here A can hold integer value, here float value, or here character value, here double value. Okay. Now I am going to explain you what are these values. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Int means right what is an integer. Integer is a number which is a number actually. It includes 0 and plus positive numbers and negative numbers. Okay. So here integer number including 0. So the variable which is of type integer can hold any number including 0. Okay. I will ask you an example.
Okay.
Consider it's a type name. What is the maximum value this int A can hold? A can hold. Anyhow, See, just think, okay. See, this is an integer A, okay. And anyhow, when you store a number, it will be stored in the binary form, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it will be stored in the binary form. Consider, you have seen the memory organization, right? There are 32-bit and 64-bit.
64, yeah.
Okay. In case of 32-bit, integer A size is 32-bit. On 64-bit machines, the size of A is 64-bit.
65.
Okay. So by using 32 bits, what is the maximum value you can store? 2 to the power of 32, right?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so you can store 2 to the power of 32 as max, 0, and minus 2 to the power of 32. So this is called as the range. So it can have a worst negative value of 2 to the power of minus 32 and maximum positive value of 2 to the power of 32 and including 0. So in 64-bit, it is large, right? So it can store and it can process large data in 64-bit processor. So in normally actually, integer is divided into, I'll show you. Integer is divided into short int and long int, okay? Short int and long int. Short int is 4-bit. How many bits, Akshay? Short int? 2 bytes, I think. Let us use it as, it depends on the operating system. 2 bytes. And long int 4 bytes. Its size. So 4 byte means 2 to the power of, 4 bytes means 4 into 8, which is 32 bits. 2 to the power of 32 maximum it can store. So if you declare it as a short int, so it stores 2 to the power of 16 bits because it is 2 bytes. Are you understanding these things?
Yes, sir.
What about